Here are our favorite hidden features, including a secret messaging app and the only way to see your real iPhone battery health percentage. But first,
have you ever saved a meme with a picture of a person in it, and now Pam Beasley is showing up in memories in your iPhone?
Let's put a stop to that. First, find an image of the person you don't want to see in your memories. Here's my Pam Beasley meme. I'll tap the three dots in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, then tap Feature This Person Less. You can feature them less or never feature this person, which is the option we're going to choose. I'll tap on that, then tap Confirm.
Probably even more useful for an X.
Next up, another trick in the Photos app. Don't you hate it when images have backgrounds?
Yes. Oh.
I wish I could just pull a subject out of the foreground of the image and send it to somebody else. With your iPhone, you can. I have this nice picture of a nice yellow bird. Press and hold on this image of a bird to pull it out of the foreground. And now I'll just drag it to the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And the trick is to keep holding with one hand, bring your other hand in. I'll swipe out of Photos. And then with my other hand, I'll open the Messages app. And I can just drop this image right in the Messages app to send it to David. I'll press the Send button. And there you go. There's my nice high-quality picture of a bird.
Whoa. Is this a picture from National Geographic? There's no feet on this bird.
I know.
Look at the detail on this. Wow. It's an awesome feature, really. This was the tough one that David picked because it's kind of a dark image and a dark background. Yeah. It's amazing it does this well.
Next, let's talk about screenshots. Web pages can be very long, but you don't want it to take a dozen screenshots to get that full article. Fortunately, there's a smarter way to do it. I'll open Safari on my iPhone and take a screenshot by simultaneously pressing the side button and the volume up button. Now we have our screenshot. Let's tap on the preview in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. Up at the top, we have full page. Switch to that, and here's so you can take a full page screenshot of a web page.
This is an awesome feature, especially if you're a YouTuber.
Isn't it annoying how YouTube wants you to pay for premium so you can listen to it in the background of your iPhone?
I pay for premium, but I imagine it would be if you didn't.
Fortunately for the holdouts like me, there's a trick you can use to avoid paying for premium and still listen to YouTube in the background of your iPhone. I've got this YouTube video playing on my iPhone. I'm gonna swipe out of Safari, then quickly open Control Center by swiping down from the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and you have to hit that play button quickly, and then your iPhone will play YouTube in the background.
But you have to be quick about it, kind of like this next tip that works on the New York Times website, for instance.
This tip is for articles with paywalls. Here I am on the New York Times, the great read, an iconic wine store and the mystery of missing bottles. Where did they go?
I have no idea. We've lost them all. The trick here is to open the article by tapping on it, and then you have to tap the X button in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen really fast. And if it doesn't work the first time, it kind of becomes a game of timing. Eventually you will get it.
I did get it, wow. Interesting, how about that?
I just blew his mind.
Yeah.
Now we're not saying you shouldn't support local newspapers or the New York Times. We're just saying this is a thing that can happen when web pages don't load all the way.
Next, let's head into Control Center and talk about some tips you probably didn't know you could do.
You can press and hold the flashlight icon for different brightness levels. I remember when they added the lowest setting, it actually is a lot darker than the other ones. I think it's very helpful if you're in bed, you're looking for something and you don't want to wake somebody else up.
Pressing and holding on the timer control gives you this nifty little timer slider.
I had no idea. Press and hold on the hearing control icon or little ear icon to turn on background sounds.
I can tap here on background sounds. Maybe you don't like dark noise. You can tap on that. I'm gonna select stream. Let's just play this a little bit. And you can press and hold on the notes control to create a new note, make a new checklist, take a new photo, or scan a document.
Scan a document with the Notes app? What?
I just so happen to have this contract I would like you to sign immediately.
I'm gonna need to read this first. I agree to the following. I agree to subscribe to the Pay It Forward YouTube channel. If I truly enjoy it, to join the Pay It Forward YouTube channel for free PDF walkthrough guides. And that David P and David L are equally handsome.
You sneak that in at the last second there?
I'd love to sign it, David, but I don't have a pen.
Fortunately, you can mark up your scanned documents, including adding a digital signature right from the Notes app.
I hope you can do more than that because I gotta fill in my name and the date here. On my iPhone, I'll swipe down from the upper right-hand corner of the screen to open Control Center. Then I'll press and hold on the Notes icon and choose Scan Document. Something to be aware of real quick is, do you really want to scan a color document every time? Because if you choose color, these files are going to be a lot bigger. So I'll tap the three circles at the top of the screen and then choose black and white. I'll lift up my phone, and as soon as the entire document's in view, it automatically takes a picture. I'll tap save, and here we have the contract right in the Notes app, and it even took the title from the image. Pretty impressive, but we're not done yet.
Let's say you wanted to sign this document. First, tap that share button, upper right-hand corner of the screen.
All right.
And in the share sheet, scroll down to Markup.
All right.
Then tap the plus button in the lower right-hand corner of the screen.
Okay.
And you have that signature option. Let's tap on that.
All right. Ooh, I've already added some signatures here. I could just tap on my signature and use my finger to drag it over here, right on that line. But now how do I do my name and the date?
Well, again, tap that plus button.
Okay.
Then tap text.
Okay.
And you get a nice little text box.
All right, I'm gonna pick up my phone for this so I can do it real fast. If you make a mistake while you're doing this, which I have about 12 times, just be aware of the little undo button here in the upper left-hand corner of the screen.
You could save this document to iCloud Drive, or you could just send it off by tapping that share button in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. Maybe you want to send that to me.
Sure do.
Bird picture in exchange for a viewer contract. Fair deal. And now if I go to the Messages app on my phone, I can see the viewer contract, I can tap on that, and there's the document. If you're missing any of the controls we just talked about, you can go into the Settings app on your iPhone, scroll down to Control Center, and tap the green plus next to any controls you want to add.
Next, let's head to everyone's favorite web browser, Safari. Even if you use it every day, it still has some tricks up its sleeve.
I'll open Safari on my iPhone and head into the tab view by tapping the tab button in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. First, you can press and hold the plus button in the lower left-hand corner of the screen to see your recently closed tabs.
Are you a tab hoarder? If so, you can scroll to the top of the page.
I'll tap into the search tabs field and type in ESPN, and all of my ESPN windows are now in front of me. Next, a really cool Safari customization feature. I'll tap cancel in Safari, then I'll tap the plus button in the lower left-hand corner of the screen to get to the start page. And then if you scroll all the way down here, you can tap edit and customize the start page view. Here we can reorder things like our reading list, our favorites, our frequently visited websites. I want to have those frequently visited websites at the top of my Safari when I start a new tab. I'll press and hold in the handle to the right of frequently visited and drag it to the top of the screen.
And you can also set a background image for your start page.
I'll tap on background image. You can choose your own image. There are some that are built in that I don't think are very good, but I already have this image of a mountain selected. So if I close out of customize start page, we've got that nice little background.
Yeah, David took that picture himself. What mountain is that, David?
That, I don't know. And while we're here, let's talk about an underrated iPhone feature, the Privacy Report. On the start page, I can scroll down to Privacy Report. In the last 7 days, Safari has prevented 155 trackers from profiling you.
It's pretty good, that's a lot.
And if I tap into Privacy Report, I can see the most contacted domain was ESPN. And if I tap into trackers, you might not recognize what a lot of these things are, but really it's just ad networks.
This shows you which companies are collecting data about you that can be used to build a marketing profile and then show you ads.
Unsurprisingly, Google, Facebook, Amazon, the giants in the tech industry. And here's another Safari tip we bet you didn't know. On a web page, you can tap the share button at the bottom of the screen and then scroll down in the share sheet to add to home screen. I want to add Wordle to my home screen. I don't want to download the New York Times Games app, taking up a bunch of storage space. I just want Wordle. If I tap the add button in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, I now have Wordle on my home screen. I can tap into that, and it just takes me to the Wordle every single day.
Never played Wordle once in my life. Never done a Wordle.
It's fun. It's a good way to start your day.
No idea.
Or end your day when you forget to enter it.
Let's close out of Safari and talk about automation. And you don't need to be an AI expert to use these automations.
On my iPhone, I'll open Settings, tap General, tap Keyboard, and then tap Text Replacement.
Here's where you can create shortcuts for words or phrases that you type often on your iPhone. One of our favorites is @ for your email address.
I'll tap the plus button in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. The phrase is what's going to appear when you type in the shortcut, so I'll put in my very real email address. Then for the shortcut, I will type in @ and tap save in the upper right-hand corner of the screen.
Maybe we could try it out in the secret iPhone messaging app.
Before you can use this app, there is a setting you need to turn on. I'll tap back upper left-hand corner of the screen to the main page of settings. Then tap accessibility, scroll down to RTT/TTY, tap on that, and turn on the switch next to Software RTT. Next, I need to make a phone call, so I'll say, call David Payette. Then I'll choose RTT/TTY call.
Why don't I pick this up?
And now if I tap on RTT, look at this little messaging window. So let's just try the at, and it fills in to Wordle Turtle. And now on your phone, what do you see?
wordleturtle@gmail.com, I see.
RTT stands for real-time text, and it allows you to send real-time text messages to someone in the phone app.
Next up, one of my favorite tips, and something I started using every day maybe a few months ago.
And it's something I really need to get into the habit of doing. It is swiping at the bottom of the screen to switch apps. You probably know you can go into the app switcher by swiping up from the bottom of the screen to the center of the screen. Or if I'm in the settings app, I can just swipe at the very bottom of the screen to change apps.
No.
Yes.
When you swipe between your apps, they're in the same order that they appear in the app switcher. So it's kind of like using the app switcher without actually opening it up and then scrolling through. The one thing to keep in mind is that your most recently used app is going to be immediately to the left of the one you're using now. They're in the same order they appear in the app switcher. With the exception that if you want to go back and forth between apps quick, the one you're using now stays on the right side.
Next up is burst photos. The first thing I'm going to do is close out of Safari, open the settings app, and head back to the main page of settings. Then scroll down to camera, and then turn on the switch next to use volume up for burst.
A burst is a lot of photos taken in very quick succession. Maybe you're taking a picture of something in motion, like an athlete or a bird. That's when you'd want to use this.
If I head into the camera app on my iPhone and I press and hold the volume up button, at the bottom you can see that counter, let's say 30, that seems like a pretty good number. That burst of the cluttered studio, not super impressive. Here's a burst I took of Shohei Ohtani last year. If I tap into select, you can see all the different photos. It's him throwing a pitch. The dots underneath the photos are the ones that Apple thinks are the best and the most clear. To pick out the photos from the burst that you want to save, just tap on them. So I'll take that one, we'll take that one, and we'll take this one that Apple says is good. Then I'll tap done in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Now I can keep all of the burst photos, or I can just choose keep only the 3 favorites, tap on that, and we're set.
Next, another camera tip.
We get a lot of tourists up in the Adirondacks, and I still see people all the time poking their iPhone screen to use the digital shutter button. There's a much better way.
Some people asked me to take their photo at the PGA Championship a couple weeks ago, and I used the shutter button on their phone to do it. And although they didn't say anything, I could tell by the look in their eyes that they were impressed. Then I did it again, and somebody yelled at me because I didn't take it in vertical mode.
What a jerk. A better way to do it is to use your volume buttons as the shutters. So if I go back into camera, I can just press the volume down button to take a photo, or you can use the volume up button to take a photo, it doesn't matter. And if you really love tapping, don't fret, because you can really scratch that tapping itch with this next feature. In the settings app on your iPhone, we'll tap back upper left-hand corner of the screen, scroll up and tap accessibility, then tap touch, and scroll all the way down to back tap. And here we have a lot of options. I'll start with double tap.
You can choose any of these things to happen when you double tap the back of your phone.
I think the most useful thing is running a shortcut. I don't want to have to rely on Siri to work properly. I'd rather just tap the back of my phone. So if I scroll down to shortcuts, I have my Let's Go Yankees shortcut, and I double tap the back of my phone. It runs my Let's Go Yankees shortcut, taking me right to the homepage of the New York Yankees on ESPN.
Let's talk about our favorite shortcut. That's not just because I made it and other people copied it and took credit, but then gave us credit after we said something.
And it's called the battery stats shortcut. It lets you see the real battery health of your iPhone. If I tap back to the main page of settings, and then tap battery, and tap battery health and charging, my iPhone says it has a maximum capacity of 99%. Is that number even correct?
Finally, less than 100%. You've had this phone for 8 months, 9 months. Of course it's not correct, because lithium-ion batteries start to lose capacity as soon as you take it out of the box. Did David's battery magically stay at 100% for the first 8 months of the phone's lifetime? Or is this number a big fat lie?
Let's find out. I'll tap back to the main page of settings. Scroll down to privacy and security, and then scroll down to Analytics and Improvements. Make sure the Share iPhone Analytics switch is on, and then tap into Analytics Data. Then open an Analytics file, and tap the Share button in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. I'll scroll down the Share sheet to Battery Stats, and run that shortcut. Original capacity, 3345 milliamp hours. Nominal charge capacity, which is its current maximum capacity, 3135. It's been through 171 cycles, and the real battery percentage is in fact 93.72%.
That sounds more like it, because David's phone actually came with a battery with a much greater capacity than Apple says is the maximum capacity for this phone.
Check out the video in the card above or the section below the subscribe button to learn more about the battery health lie.
And let's talk about a totally uncontroversial battery topic: closing apps.
But before we do, we want to tell you about channel memberships. When you join this channel, you get PDFs for some of our biggest settings videos, so you can follow along, plus a whole lot more. Click that join button below to learn more.
We're not going to get into the weeds about whether closing apps is good or bad for your battery life, but we are going to show you a cool tip.
You probably know you can close your apps in the app switcher by swiping up from the bottom to the center of the screen and swiping your apps up and off the top of the screen. But you can do several apps at once, so it's pretty easy to do 2. And then it gets a little bit harder to do 3, and then I don't know if I can do 4. Well, 4 is very challenging. But you know, you can do it. It's possible to do 4.
Can you do more at home? Leave us a comment below.
I'd be very impressed if someone could do all 5 at once.
Next, a neat feature in an underappreciated iPhone app.
When Apple released iOS 12, they released the Measure app, and inside the Measure app, there's a much more useful tool.
All right, let's open the Measure app. You've promised me an even more useful tool than the Measure.
Yeah. It's the Level tab. Let's tap on the Level tab.
All right.
And then,
why isn't this level? Well, because the stupid camera bump. But I can put this on my laptop, nice and level. How about that? If there were no protrusions on the iPhone, I feel like this would be a much more useful feature.
I tend to lie it down like sideways like this. I mean, there's still, you still get the camera bumps, but it does work.
Yeah.
With your iPhone, you can put the level back in the toolbox, and then you can add this next tip to your iPhone tool belt. It is hiding your caller ID. On your iPhone, open Settings, scroll down to Phone, and then look for an option that says Hide Caller ID. What does it do? It hides your caller ID so you can make phone calls anonymously.
I don't have this feature, David.
Neither do I. Fortunately, there's a secret phone code you can use to hide your phone number. It is *67 followed by the phone number you want to call.
No caller ID. It must be somebody special. Hello? I don't know who it was. They hung up. But *67 is not the only secret code that unlocks awesome features on your iPhone. Check out our next video to learn more. We'll see you there. It's probably even more useful for an ex or a liaison, if you know what I mean.
Escort.
An escort, or you know, like somebody you're cheating with. What do they call it? Mistress?
Mistress, yeah. I think if you're putting those pictures in your phone, you're already asking for trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm just saying, you know.